You want me to intro the fucking
I
video?
did it last time and I
Welcome
fucked
back.
it up.
You did fuck it up. Welcome back to another episode of the Real Duo Podcast, the most mediocre podcast on the internet. I'm one of your hosts, Wade.
I'm my host, Devin.
It's been about, 2 weeks since we've
Something like that. I don't
done
know.
the podcast?
There's been a lot to talk about, so
There really hasn't, but there's a lot to talk about now.
I guess so.
There's quite a bit.
What do you want to talk about?
We will get into that after. We have a system we've been doing for a while. What have you been watching this week, Devin?
I got two, three things.
Okay.
We'll start with Devin's shit film of the week.
Oh my god. Is this a segment? Is this like a...
It's been happening the past couple podcasts. Might as well.
Devin's shit film of the week.
I watched The Core.
Oh my god. Why?
Because
You've already seen The Core.
It was on Netflix.
That's not a reason to watch
Felt
it.
like watching it.
Jesus.
Worse than I remember. Somehow. The whales. Anyway,
I like Aaron Eckhart. I don't understand why he's in such shit. He did The Dark Knight, and then he's done nothing else of note since or before.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, man. You're a good actor.
He tried his best.
He's a good actor.
There's a lot of decent actors in that movie.
Are they?
What's his name? Like the captain dude. He's in a lot of stuff.
Who's the captain dude? I don't fucking...
Hold on, let me look up the cast.
I haven't seen The Core since, 6th grade? 7th grade?
Stanley Tucci's in it.
Stanley Tucci's in it.
Yeah.
Holy
and
shit.
Bruce Greenwood. He's the captain.
Oh, I fucking love Bruce Greenwood.
And, yeah, that's about it.
And Hilary Swank.
Hilary Swank.
Fuck, yeah. Why is this movie bad?
I don't know. Because it's about going to the center of the earth.
Journey to the Center of the Earth?
Yeah.
With Brendan Fraser?
But it's not as good as that.
Oh, it's not a good movie.
Exactly. So,
Wow.
that's how bad it is.
Wow.
Then I rewatched another movie. I rewatched Spider-Verse, just cause.
It's a great movie.
It was a great movie. And then I watched something new finally. It wasn't a movie. I watched Living with Yourself or whatever with Paul Rudd.
Oh, the Paul Rudd show. Did you like that?
I did. It's quite good. And you said there's going to be a season 2, I think? We talked about that?
They greenlit a season 2. I don't know when that's coming out. I like the show. I just think it doesn't need to be like a show. I think it works as like a little miniseries. Like I think if season 1 ended, like where it ended, I was like, all right, that's fine. Like I don't know how long this show can go on with this gimmick.
I mean, I could see it going on, continuing.
I guess I don't know. I can't see it. I thought season 1 was good.
I enjoyed it. Yeah,
I thought it was fun.
I'll try to play realistic with it, even though it's a really weird premise.
It's not a realistic show.
No, but it did, and it did it well. I think it worked well.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it.
It gets real like serious. Because I remember
the whole show's like
no, but I remember when
serious.
I like heard the premise and saw the trailer, I was like, oh, this is gonna be a goofy Paul Rudd show about like, oh, I got a clone and blah blah blah. It's like a dark comedy.
It's not even a comedy.
There's some comedic moments in it.
I don't think I laughed once.
There's that you're dead inside. There's a couple funny bits in it. It's
Name a funny
more
bit.
of a drama when he like punches the light bulb in the first episode. You didn't
That
laugh at
wasn't funny. That was he was
fucking
angry.
I lost my shit at that when he did that. I was like, that's fucking hilarious.
I thought the pig thing was kind of funny. I don't know why. Because somebody delivered him a pig and then he ran it over.
Because you're weird.
The whole thing's like sad.
It's very sad. It's very fucked up.
It is. Like inner demons type shit.
Yeah. Paul Rudd was great in it.
He was. He did a fantastic job. He's a little chubby in that.
He can't be Ant-Man ripped 24/7.
Why not?
Because he's 58 years old.
He could do it.
No.
If Hugh Jackman could do it, he could do it.
Hugh Jackman has been ripped since he was like 20. Paul Rudd didn't get jacked until he was Ant-Man. And he was already like 47.
Why'd they make him get ripped for Ant-Man? I don't know.
I have no fucking clue.
They wanted a shirtless scene.
They probably told him he didn't need to, and he's like, no, I'm gonna.
If you're gonna allow me to do this,
if I'm gonna be in the MCU, I'm gonna get jacked.
I'm gonna do it.
That's probably what he did. That's what I would have done.
He's got some chub in that.
That's fine.
He didn't have his cool hair, which I understand why.
His massive hair that he always has. His Andrew Garfield hair.
Yeah. He's got fantabulous hair.
He
Show that off to the world, Paul.
For an old man, he's got pretty great hair.
He's got better hair than me. That's why I wear this hat.
I mean, I guess.
No one can ever see my hair.
I mean, there have been episodes where they...
But no one's seen those episodes. Have you ever noticed that our good episodes are the ones where I wear hats?
I guess, so you need to wear that hat more.
There you go.
So, fucking A.
What you watched this week?
The Boys wrapped up. Boys season 2 wrapped up last week.
Yeah, how was that? How did it end?
I thought the finale was the best episode. The finale was fucking awesome.
Can you see it setting up for future seasons?
Season 2 definitely kind of like if this was the end, it definitely had like a nice little like wrap up like closure to it, to where I was like, all right, like that works. Season 3 has been greenlit. It was greenlit before season 2 came out, so we are getting more. But I thought it was season 2 definitely isn't as great as season 1, and I think that might have to do with just the fact that like it's not new anymore. Because like when I saw The Boys the first time, I was like, what the fuck is this? This is insane. Like holy shit. And it's kind of just more of that, which isn't a bad thing. It's still one of the
more crazy.
It's more insane. It's definitely season 2 definitely gets a lot darker and more dramatic than season 1, which I didn't even think was possible. But it's still better than most things on TV today. It's just not as amazing as season 1 was. And it definitely the week to week structure definitely I think hurt it a little bit, because it, instead of watching it all at once and kind of experiencing it as just like an 8-hour movie, you'd watch it and you'd have an entire week to like think about what you just watched, and you'd kind of point out the flaws and be like, that's a little, maybe that person wouldn't do that, or blah, blah, instead of just digesting it as a whole.
See, that's why I just waited, and now I can watch the whole thing.
Yeah, that's probably honestly best.
But now I gotta wait till season 3's out. So
no, you should just watch season 1 and 2. Because then once season 3 is gonna come out, you'll be like, just wait till season 4, and then you'll never get around to watching this.
Because then when season 5 gets around, but now it's too much.
I hope we don't get a season 5. I think 4 seasons max is all we need.
Still, if season 4 come around, but like now it's too much. I can't watch it.
Oh, it's too much. There's too many fucking episodes. And I'll be like, you cocksucker! You should have watched it when it was.
I continuously say this just to piss you off.
I know you do.
Like, I'll wait and then watch it later.
It's a great show. Remember when I told you for years to watch Breaking Bad, and you were like, no, I don't want to watch Breaking Bad, and then you finally watched it and was like, holy shit, this is amazing.
That's what I do with everything.
I know.
I downplay it to shit so that when I watch it, I'm like, it's
and then you watch it one day on like a Wednesday when you're bored, and you're just like, holy shit, this is amazing.
That's exactly what I do. I downplay it so much, and I'm like, it'll be terrible, and I won't like it. And then when I watch it, I'm like, holy shit, this is amazing.
Yeah, I know, but it's just annoying when you do that, because I'm telling you it's great, and you need to watch it. I want
you telling me it's great makes me want to watch it less.
Well, then it's shit.
I already know it's great though, because you've already told me.
It is. I want people to support their show because it's really good.
Well, even if you told me it was shit, I'd be like, well, then I don't have to watch it because it's shit. So it's a lose-lose situation for you. You just gotta hope that one day I'm bored.
It's mediocre,
and I watch it.
That's pretty much. If I ever want you to watch a TV show, I just have to pray.
Just be like,
it's like hopefully he's just so bored one day. He's like, maybe I'll watch The Boys.
That's what I did with Living with Yourself. I was bored. And Daredevil. I just happened to watch Daredevil.
I told you to watch Daredevil too, and you were like, no, I'm good. And you watched it and was like, holy shit, this is amazing.
I know.
I think you should just listen to me more when I recommend stuff.
Nah,
because you seem to enjoy all the stuff that I recommend.
Once I do that, I'll find something that you like that I didn't. I'm like, I can't trust Wade with anything, and then I won't watch it.
I mean, you shouldn't anyway, because I like a lot of dumb shit too.
Speaking of shows, Mandalorian comes out in a couple weeks. We'll have that to talk about.
We will bring back everyone's favorite segment, the Mandalore Review.
The Mandalore Review. I forgot that was even a segment.
It was. It was a very early segment on our podcast.
We'll stretch out a 30-minute episode into 2 hours.
Fucking A, man.
Because that's what we do with everything.
Yeah.
We talk about bullshit. Continue on, though.
All the podcasts.
With what you've been watching.
I've watched a lot over the past 2 weeks. But one of the main things that I have watched is the Rush Hour trilogy.
I love that cover.
This is a beautiful cover. It's so good. Rush Hour is definitely Rush Hour isn't great. It definitely reminds me of Bad Boys and how I grew up with Bad Boys, and I really only like Bad Boys because of nostalgia. These are definitely better than Bad Boys.
Oh, that's a trilogy. I thought that was the first one.
These are at least like movies. Like you could watch these and have some enjoyment in them. They're not great, but I think Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker have an awesome chemistry together,
which is weird. I would never have imagined.
No, you wouldn't. But they're great together. The action in it from Jackie Chan is really great. There's a lot of racist jokes in it from both of them.
Yeah,
which is really fun, and it's totally not PC anymore.
It would not get greenlit today.
Probably not, and that's why I don't think Rush Hour 4.
Because if the mass amount of people watch this now, they'd be like, cancel everybody.
Even though they probably would. Even though it stars a Chinese man and a black man.
Yeah.
And the entire trilogy is about them.
They'll somehow say it was whitewashed.
And it's diverse and this was ahead of its time, all right, in terms of, diversity in movies and shit. But it's mostly just them being like friends and stuff and just playing off each other. It's not like
I've
Jackie Chan hates black people or anything.
think I've seen the entire first one. It's been a long time.
First one's really good.
I've seen
First two
clips.
are great.
I've seen clips from other ones, I think.
The third one's kind of just because I think it came out a little bit too late. It came out in like 2007. I saw that fuck in the theater. I forced my grandma to take me to go see it in the theater.
You saw Rush Hour 3?
I did. Dude, Rush Hour, my brother and I fucking would watch these movies like religiously. Rush Hour 1 and 2 when we had them on DVD.
I mean, that's understandable.
And the bloopers were fucking iconic. So iconic that I could quote the bloopers of the fucking movie.
That's weird.
Because they would play them like right after the movie during the credits, and they're iconic. Everyone, if you've seen these movies, you've seen the bloopers. Damn, he ain't gonna be in Rush Hour 3. I love that one. But these are fun. I enjoy these silly, dumb, fun buddy cop movies.
That's definitely your kind of movie for sure.
If it's good, dumb, fun, I enjoy it.
Samurai Cop.
That's bad, dumb fun.
But to you, it's good, dumb fun.
I enjoy it. Samurai Cop's a masterpiece.
We have a video on that. If anybody want to watch Wade talk about that. So.
We do. It's the greatest movie ever made.
Disagree, but...
You can suck a dick.
Velocipaster's better. No, it's not. No. Because I remember we talked about both those the same day.
We did, and I was really upset when we talked about Velocipaster. That movie is a piece of shit.
It really is.
You want to talk about a piece of shit? Yeah. Velocipaster. You look up piece of shit in the dictionary, Velocipaster, that fucking poster.
We're gonna find another one. We gotta do like once a month. A piece of shit.
Oh my God,
garbage segment once a month.
If it's Velocipaster, fuck you.
It's not gonna be that, but it's gonna be like equivalent or maybe a little bit better. But hopefully not worse. I'll find something. On Amazon Prime that's free to watch.
Watch all those shitty shark movies.
Yeah, I'll find one of those. Like
I'd honestly probably rather watch those and probably have fun watching those because
I think if we watched them together, it would be way better. Because us watching,
I mean, even like because Velocipaster was a parody. It wasn't a legitimate like.
Still,
they weren't trying to make a movie and then they fucked it up.
I struggled to watch that
it was a
by
pain
myself.
In the ass to watch,
even though I'm the one who told you to watch it.
Yeah, you were like, "Oh, let's watch it. It'll be fun," and I was like, "God damn it, Devin. This is a chore."
I knew it was gonna be shit before we watched it.
It's terrible.
But I was like, fuck it. It's going to be like one of those fun, bad movies.
I think you were just like, hey, I want to make Wade suffer.
Honestly, that a little bit too.
It
but I think it would have been better if we were there watching it together. Because we watched it separately. And it was, you're right, it was a chore to get through that movie.
So bad. But I can watch Samurai Cop on my own and I still enjoy it.
Samurai Cop is 1,000% better than Velocity.
It really is.
1,000%.
Samurai Cop looks like The Godfather compared to that movie.
It's not even like...
It's not good.
A tier.
No, it's not good at all. It's up there with like The Room.
And that tells you how bad
Velocipaster was shit. And I hope the filmmaker who made Velocipaster watches this video.
He might, honestly. You never know. He probably doesn't make films anymore. Or he makes like...
He better not.
French films or something. Or German films. I don't know.
Is he German? Why would he make German movies?
Because he got kicked out of America.
He got kicked. That's how bad his fucking movie was. He got kicked out of the country. Trump was like, no more movies.
Actually, I found the guy who made that movie on Reddit, which is kind of funny. That's how I heard of the movie. It's because I found his movie. He was talking about his movie on Reddit.
Did you send him our video?
No, I didn't. I could have, but I didn't.
You should have been like, hey, let's do a shit in your mouth for 30 minutes.
I don't remember his username on there. I'd have to find it again.
I'll find him tonight and I'll send it to him.
Look at this.
Look how shit you are.
You got some crappy podcasters talking about your movie.
These fucking losers talking about your fucking movie.
Hashtag most mediocre podcast on the internet.
Yeah. We're humble, all right?
Yeah, we know.
We know we're shit.
But we know we're not God tier, but...
Well, yeah.
We're not like the worst of the worst.
Oh, definitely not.
We got a table. Some people
we have a table.
Now. we didn't.
Well, I mean, we did. We just didn't use it.
Yeah.
We didn't utilize it. But anyway, back on topic.
Yeah, it was a weird tangent.
Fucking rant.
Anyways.
I watched True Lies for the first time ever. I've never seen this.
I've never seen any of this.
Directed by James Cameron, who directed films like Avatar 1 through 8 and Titanic and shit.
For people in the future, tell us how that is.
Yeah, tell us how all the Avatar sequels came out. They probably were terrible. And it stars Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis. And it's a really fun, silly action movie.
How is Arnold in this?
He's Arnold.
He doesn't like try to diversify it at all?
No, he's Arnold. No.
Does he have any iconic lines?
He has one of the best Arnold Schwarzenegger moments I have ever seen in anything is in this movie at the very end. Do you want me to spoil it for you?
Yeah, I'm not gonna probably watch it. So
there's one point he's got to fight like terrorists or whatever, and there's one point at the end he gets in this like fighter jet, and one of the terrorists like jumps on the jet, and then Arnold like knocks him off, and I think the strap of his gun gets like locked onto a missile that's connected to the thing, and he aims the ship at a helicopter with a bunch of other terrorists in it. He shoots the fucking rocket that the dude strapped on. He goes, "You're fired," and then he goes through a building and blows up the helicopter. I'm like, that's the greatest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
I've seen that clip.
It's amazing.
Real engineers see if that could actually happen in real life. That's how I know about that clip.
Could it happen?
No. He's too heavy. He'd pull the rocket down.
But if you're fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger, you can do anything. This is a great movie, though. This is a lot of fun. Don't take it too seriously, because it is a comedy.
They don't have that on Blu-ray.
There is a Blu-ray. It's like Spanish, though, and it's very rare. It's like $400.
Almost every movie has a Blu-ray now, so it's kind of weird.
James Cameron has other priorities, all right? He's got Avatar 5, 6, 7, and 8 to fucking write and direct now.
I'm going to laugh when 2 and 3 are terrible. He's like, what do I do?
I'm going to laugh when 2's terrible. Yeah, nobody gives a fuck about 3.
And 3 comes out in a month, and they're like, oh, shit.
Because that's what's going to happen, because nobody cares about Avatar now. I also watched Casino for the first time. Martin Scorsese's Casino. I had never seen it. This is one of the movies of his I had never seen. Fucking great.
Just like everything that he makes.
It's pretty much everything. He's got a couple stinkers, but he makes great fucking movies. It's a little bit too close to Goodfellas in terms of style. It's pretty much like the same. But I like the characters. I think Robert De Niro is like one of my favorite Robert De Niro performances is in this. He's really great in it. Joe Pesci's little ass is in this too. And he's pretty much just being Joe Pesci, because Joe Pesci has one mode, and that's be Joe Pesci.
I've never seen him not be Joe Pesci. So.
No, because that's just him. Okay. And he's literally the same thing in like The Irishman and Home Alone and Lethal Weapon and Goodfellas. He's the same in everything.
I could say the same thing about Al Pacino, though. Like, I don't think
Al Pacino early on, like when he was younger, he had some range. As he got older, he was kind of like, "Oh, I'm Al Pacino."
De Niro definitely has the most range.
De Niro has a lot of range, surprisingly. He's great. This is a great fucking movie. Watch it. You should also watch Goodfellas if you haven't. But watch Casino. It's great. I also watched E.T.
E.T.
The Extraterrestrial. Great Spielberg movie.
One of his best. Was that the special edition?
No. Thank God. And I looked up like the special edition. Apparently they don't make that anymore. They don't put that out. And Spielberg apologized for putting it out. There you go. Which I have. Spielberg's like the only person I know of, the only filmmaker I know of who will do a special edition thing, and then like later on, if people don't like it, he'll like apologize for it. He did that with Close Encounters as well, because there was a special edition of that, and he was like, "Yeah, I probably shouldn't have did that. Like that was wrong. I fucked up." And I have respect for him for doing that, because there's no need to do that. It doesn't.
Come on, George Lucas.
George Lucas is an asshole, so he's never going to change it. But I would respect George Lucas if he did.
You know, Disney could go back and change it.
If they have the original negatives. I don't think they do.
They should. Fox had it.
I heard a rumor that he went back and fucked with the original negative.
Oh my God. Somebody has it
I don't think we had the original Star Wars.
Somebody has it burned somewhere.
I hope so. I would hope so.
Some fuck has that stored in their basement somewhere.
I would imagine.
And he needs to send that to Disney and be like, look, copy this.
Great.
Make a bunch of them.
Because if they took a transfer of the original negative, those movies could look phenomenal.
Probably not. Probably won't ever get it.
Probably won't. Because
at least he didn't fuck with Indiana Jones.
But I have the original uncut Star Wars movies anyway, so I don't give a fuck. But ET's great.
You can put them on disc.
The ending
you send them to Disney.
I have them. No, because you don't want to. You want to transfer them from the original negatives, because it's gonna look like shit if you try to.
Better than nothing.
Up-res a DVD from 20 years ago.
Better than nothing.
I get, but they have them. They can go get them. But this is an awesome movie. It's very nostalgic. The ending makes me cry all the time.
I never found the ending of that movie that sad, honestly.
What?
I mean, I found it sad, but not to the point where I cried. I rarely cry during movies. Rarely.
You say I don't have a soul.
It's a rare occasion. I didn't cry during Logan.
You just don't have
I didn't cry during Endgame. Didn't cry during...
I cried a little bit during Endgame, but not a lot.
Yeah, no.
You just don't know how to feel, man.
Cried in Marley and Me, but I was like...
What?
I was young.
I bet you cried during Up, too.
Did not.
Like everybody else fucking
Nah,
did.
I didn't cry. What was sad in Up? Oh,
The opening.
No.
And everyone's like, oh, it's the saddest fucking thing ever. But the rest of the movie's shit, so it doesn't matter.
Up is great.
Up is not good. Up is not good. The first 10 minutes of it is good.
No, I didn't cry during
And then the rest of it's just some random bullshit.
I cry during like random bullshit movies. I don't cry during big movies, honestly.
You cried during like Samurai Cop.
I cry because I'm watching it for the 7th time.
No one asked you to watch it 7 times, then.
I've only seen it once.
If you watch a movie 7 times, you like that fucking.
No, I've only seen it once when you showed it to me. So there you go.
I mean,
I've seen Batman vs Superman more times than I should have.
yeah, I know, which means you like that movie.
I don't.
Because why would you submit yourself to 3 hours of a movie?
I've seen it 3 times, 4 times maybe. Seen it in theaters. Saw it outside of theaters to hopefully like it more. Didn't. And I saw the extended cut. And I think I watched it with my dad once. So 4 times.
If I didn't like it, I would just be like, no, I'm not watching this anymore.
I haven't watched it since then. So
You will at some point.
one day.
And then it'd be like, oh, it's not that bad.
No, if it the
Because that's kind of what everyone's doing.
5th time's the charm.
It took me like 4 or 5 times before I was like, oh, this actually isn't that bad.
Nah, if I was gonna like it, I would have liked it in the 3rd one at the minimum or the maximum.
I don't know. You have it in your head that like, oh, this movie sucks.
I
So I'm just
don't.
gonna hate it.
I wish it was good
It is good.
because I love Man of Steel and I
It is
love
a
Ben
good
Affleck as Batman, but I don't like that movie.
It is a good movie. It's a good comic book movie.
We're not going on this tangent again.
Fucking Batman vs Superman.
Continue.
Greatest.
Did we have a video on that too? Possibly. I don't know.
We have a DCEU video
Oh, there you go.
where we talk about.
I'm sure we talked about it for at least 20 minutes.
Probably.
So.
Did. I think that was most of the podcast. And then last but not least, I watched American Graffiti, George Lucas's first movie. This comes with the sequel too. I haven't seen the sequel because I don't give a shit about the sequel.
Nobody does. Nobody gives a shit.
I didn't even
about
know
that
there was
first
a sequel to this, honestly. First one's actually not that bad. First one's actually a pretty solid, fun movie.
Yeah, but nobody gives a shit about it.
Well, nobody gives a shit because it doesn't have the Star Wars logo on it.
Nah.
I think it's better than his first film, THX 1138. I think this is definitely a much better movie than that. It's not really, there's not much of a plot, but it's kind of a coming of age movie and it takes place over one night. Harrison Ford's in it. He's got a very small part in it though, but he's really fun in it. Richard Dreyfuss is in it. He's like kind of the main character.
Richard Dreyfuss and Harrison Ford are in the same movie?
You goddamn right.
That sounds like an awesome movie to me.
You goddamn right. Ron Howard's in it. Ron Howard, everyone would know, directed Solo, the shit fest.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it. I thought it's not like a masterpiece or anything, but I enjoyed it. It was fun.
That looks like Jim Carrey, but it's not Jim Carrey.
Who?
On the back.
That's Ron Howard.
I know.
Ron Howard's an ugly human being.
Saying Jim Carrey's ugly?
He can be.
He's got some fantabulous hair in some movies.
Sometimes he does. Ace Ventura.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
The one time in the 90s.
He also climbed out of a rhino's butthole or something.
That was in the sequel, which I still want to show you. I think it's on Netflix. We gotta watch it.
No way it's gonna be as crazy as the first one.
It's kind of is.
Kind of is.
It kind of is and kind of isn't at the same time. It's kind of its own different thing.
It won't hold up to me.
I'm sure it'll be very horribly offensive.
Probably.
It actually no. I remember it's not. Or no, it is offensive. It's not. It's not very PC.
It's not.
It's very offensive.
Because
I remember
it's probably very boring. If it's
a couple of scenes in it where it's like, this isn't okay.
I mean, the first one had a couple of those, so.
And a lot of those.
Anyways, let's get into the news.
Get into the news. What do you have?
I don't know. Let me look. I got some not really. They're movie news, but it's not really movie news. So No Time to Die got delayed a couple weeks ago, and it caused a bunch of Regal theaters to close, which isn't good. I think there are a couple of them still open, so there might be some still playing.
What are they playing?
Tenet. I think Tenet's still in theaters, so
they're just playing Tenet,
and they're playing
for
old
every
movies.
screen. They're just playing Tenet.
No, they're playing old movies too. Like I know they do. Fun. They do Ghostbusters and Star Wars, and
I'd like to do that at some point. Go see Ghostbusters on the big screen.
But yeah, this is the second time they've closed in a year, so we'll see if they reopen. Speaking of reopening, though, AMC theaters is expected to run out of money in 6 months.
Holy shit!
So we'll see. Movie theaters could be dying officially, and it's not because people aren't going. There's people.
There's nothing. Well, I mean, they're not. Nobody
because they can't.
Nothing.
They can't go. There's nothing to see.
Yeah, there's nothing in the theater.
I don't know. Theaters probably should have just waited, but you know, Nolan was like, "Fucking put Tenet out."
Nolan was like, "Fuck you, I'm putting this out."
So yeah, we'll see. Keep up to date with that. I'm sure there's donations if people want to donate, but probably not. People aren't going to donate.
I don't know.
If
Most people, I feel like I'm one of the few people who are like, oh, keep movie theaters alive, because even there's a lot of film buffs out there who are just like, no, kill the theater, like fuck it, it needs to die.
I've seen a lot of people just go to streaming. That's what everybody's saying.
I guess, and that's probably where everything's gonna go eventually. But I like seeing movies in the movie theater, on the biggest screen possible. Why would you not want to see that?
Because people like their home. They don't
Fuck
like going
you.
out. A lot of people, because there was a poll on if they thought Black Widow should go on theaters or go on streaming, and streaming won by a lot, like 70-30.
I think just people are lazy. You don't want to go anywhere and do anything. I want to go to the fucking theater.
Well, most people will say also, like, I have a good enough entertainment system that I'm fine not singing.
Good enough.
It's not singing.
It's not the theater.
Nah. One day,
is that the standard that we're at now? It's just it's good enough.
I mean, if you got a 4K TV, like
it's
other than size,
because that's how movies are meant to be seen. Good enough.
That's the only thing you're missing is the size of the
size and the sound.
You can get amazing sound systems
and the projectors.
Because those are size
cinema projectors. They're not rinky-dink projectors you can get for $100.
I mean, you can get expensive projectors.
You can, but how many people have them?
I don't know. I'm on one day.
I don't know a lot because they're fucking expensive.
Yeah, it's like $8,000 for a 4K one.
Yeah,
it's fucking insane. I'm gonna get one eventually though. One day.
I'll probably get one at some point.
I'm gonna have a home theater, so when the theaters die, I can still have one.
Fucking hey, that's the right way to do it.
There you go. Speaking of random movie news, it's not really movie news. We're getting 4K release of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I saw this
in December.
I keep up on like Blu-ray releases
and Hobbit. If anybody cares about Hobbit,
nobody gives a fuck. The actual set. Have you seen the set?
I have not. No.
The steelbooks are fucking gorgeous. These are like I want to get these because I have the extended editions on Blu-ray already. But I want to get this 4K set just for the fucking steelbooks because they look so fucking cool.
I'm sure it comes with.
And I might even get they do. But I might even get the Hobbit as well, just because the Hobbit steelbooks are cool as fuck too. And I don't have the Hobbit anymore.
You just need to upgrade to 4K stuff and you can watch 4K stuff.
I have no need to watch 4K stuff because Blu-ray is perfectly fine.
I have 4K stuff except for a TV, so
that's fine. I don't have a 4K Blu-ray player or a TV, and I don't need one. I still buy DVDs for fuck's sakes.
I mean, true. And
it's not because I don't have anything. It's just because it's fine. If I can see the fucking movie, it's fine. I don't need to see every pore in Matt Damon's face.
4K is going to become the new standard, though, eventually.
Eventually.
Just like how Blu-ray was kind of the new standard, like everybody buys Blu-ray.
Eventually.
4K is going to be the new
that doesn't mean it's going to be better.
And then we'll get like 8K.
And then we'll get by the time 4K, by the time every movie's 4K on like Blu-ray and everything, we're going to have 8K and 10K and all that shit.
By the time 8K's come out, DVDs will be dead.
Yeah. So
it'll be 4K and Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And 8K. So those are the three that they'll make.
It doesn't matter. There's plenty of Blu-rays that come out all the time where I'm like, this looks fucking amazing.
Blu-ray is honestly like, you can't tell the difference.
You can't.
Unless you watched them literally side by side.
And even then, there's like a very slight difference. It doesn't matter.
And you have to make sure your TV's calibrated to the right thing to even be able to
Which usually it's not because nobody fucks with their TV setting.
Yeah, and we're also getting Blade in 4K. I don't know if you saw that.
What?
Yeah.
Is there like a special edition like Steelbook, or is it just here's a Blade
I have
4K?
no idea. I have no idea, but I know we're getting a 4K release.
That could be neat. I like the first Blade.
I think we're getting the whole trilogy in 4K.
I don't need the whole trilogy. I have the trilogy. Blade 1 is great. I love Blade. It's such a fun like early 2000s or I think it came out in the 90s. Late 90s, just like it's not even trying to be like a movie. It's just like here's a fun action movie with vampires and Wesley Snipes doing karate, and it's so much fun, and I love it. Some motherfuckers always trying to ice skate uphill. Don't know what that means, but I love it.
I feel like that was improv, honestly.
I think it was actually. I think there was a story. I think on the commentary, the director David S. Goyer said that when they were doing like script readings like before they filmed and everything. Wesley Snipes just said that, and like just outright,
randomly.
And David S. Goyer thought it was the coolest fucking thing ever, and so he put it in the script.
Of course he did.
Which I mean, I probably would have done the same.
Of course he did.
Blade 2 is fine. I don't love it, but
Blade 3 has Ryan Reynolds.
Blade 3 sucks.
It does. It also has does it have fucking Norman Reedus in it? Or is
that's Blade 2?
Blade 2.
Yeah.
Your favorite guy.
I fucking hate Norman Reedus, and I'm glad he's not in anything anymore.
Still in The Walking Dead.
Fuck, keep him there.
He's apparently getting his own spin-off show.
Keep him there. That's fine. Keep him there. I don't want him in movies.
He's going to show up in the DCU just for you.
Well, I mean, that's appropriate because DCU shit. So that's appropriate.
But okay, I got some actual movie news. That was kind of like
news.
some, some bullshit stuff.
Some little fun stuff.
It's a little fun stuff. So I got some James McAvoy news.
Ooh, boy.
And Claire Foy. I don't know who that is.
Claire Foy, she's an actress.
I know, but I don't know who.
You ever seen First Man?
Yeah.
She was Ryan Gosling's wife in First Man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Anyways, they're going to star in a new movie called My Son. I don't know if you've heard of this. But
MySpace?
no, My Son.
Oh.
My and then SON, son. But this is why I'm telling you about it, because I read the little description thing for it. It's pretty cool. It's a thriller where James McAvoy will not be given a script for this movie and must do detective work and improv in real time for the movie. I think that's dope as shit. I don't know how you're gonna do that.
I mean, that could be interesting. I don't like the notion of everything being improv. I don't have a problem with improv, but if you look at, comedy specifically, when they just kind of say, just say some stuff, it doesn't really turn out all that great. I don't know how a completely improv thriller would turn out. That'd probably be weird.
He's got to do detective work. How good of a detective is James McAvoy?
I don't know.
What if he solves it in 10 minutes?
The movie's 10 minutes, I guess. It's a short film. I don't know. That could be interesting. Who's making this movie?
I have no idea. Couldn't tell you.
I mean, I like James McAvoy and I like Claire Foy.
And he's got the skill to do the improv.
He can do it. I'm not worried about him doing it. I just think that the scripts are made for a reason.
Well, everybody else has a script. He just doesn't get one.
So the actors know what to do and everything's polished out and everything's ready to go. I think just having him just do some shit. I think that could be risky depending on who you get.
Do you really think he's not given anything? I'm sure he's given something.
I'm sure they'll give him all right, here's your motivation, go.
That's it.
Your son's dead. Your wife left you. You're homeless. Go. Because if it's improv, they're not going to give him lines or anything.
I guess, but
they'll probably give him the outline of the plot. But
like when he asks somebody a question, do they have like a line for that?
That's the thing. I don't know.
Do they have to improv back? Because like you don't know what kind of question he's gonna. Like, how many toes?
They might have
the
to
suspect have. What?
They might have to improv back. I don't know. That just complicates.
It seems interesting.
It seems interesting. Hopefully it turns out.
Of all the actors, I'd give James McAvoy the best, probably.
Probably. I mean, he's just a good actor in general.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see if this doesn't turn out to be complete shit, because it could.
I hadn't heard of this until...
I didn't even hear this until you just said it.
I just saw it on some random news thing about James McAvoy's movie. Sounds and I clicked on it and I was like, let's see what James McAvoy is.
Is Night Shyamalan making this?
Probably not. I would hope not. Because then there's going to be a weird twist, like James McAvoy was the killer.
He was an alien.
I don't even know if it's a murder. It's just detective, right? It doesn't have to be a murder. It could be anything.
His son's missing. He's gonna go find him.
Somebody stole his car.
Dude, where's my car? Is this a secret sequel to Dude, Where's My Car?
No. I hope not. Anyways.
Where's the sequel to Dude, Where's My Car?
Nobody wants
They've been talking about it for like a decade.
Nobody wants it.
I want it.
You can make it.
I don't want to make it. I want to see it.
No. Nobody else wants to make it.
Ashton Kutcher wants to make it.
No, he doesn't.
He does. He's been talking about it forever.
He can make it.
He's got the money too.
He can produce and direct and star in it.
Well, he doesn't need to do all that. He's not that talented, all right?
Anyways, moving on. I got some Joaquin Phoenix news.
Joaquin.
Have you heard about this news?
No. What is this? Is this good news? Am I going to be pissed?
It's about a new movie he's going to be in.
Okay.
So, Joaquin Phoenix is going to portray Napoleon Bonaparte in a Ridley Scott biopic.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa. That sounds cool. He's not short enough, but fucking A, that sounds awesome.
Napoleon isn't actually that short.
He's like Tom Cruise. He's pretty small.
Yeah. Just get everybody else to be the same height as him, and nobody would know. He was average height in his day.
No, he was still kind of short.
Napoleon was average height.
He was a little midget fuck, and that's why he was so angry. Because he was like, I'm a
little
midget fuck.
That is a myth.
I'm a little midget boy.
Average height was the height he was. Everybody just said that.
That doesn't make him any less short. He's still a midget fuck.
Also, it doesn't matter how tall he is in the movie. So
I mean, you can make anyone any height in any movie. But this sounds cool. Ridley Scott is a very hit or miss director sometimes. He's made some great movies. One of my favorite crime movies, American Gangster, was directed by Ridley Scott.
Has he done a biopic before?
Not that I'm aware. He did All the Money in the World, which was based on a true story. He's done based on true story movies. I don't know if he's done like a biopic.
This could be a really interesting. Though.
But
There's a lot. There's a lot you could do with this, honestly.
Napoleon Bonaparte was an interesting human being.
I almost said Napoleon Dynamite when I was reading it.
I saw your brain.
I know. I was like
process, and I was like, please don't fucking say Napoleon Dynamite.
I don't know if I did or didn't, but I think I looked back just like double check.
Yeah, you're like Napoleon Bonaparte.
Yeah, I had to think about it.
No, that makes sense. Whenever I hear Napoleon, I think Dynamite.
I know. Nobody thinks about Napoleon Bonaparte.
No, because why the fuck would you?
I mean, those are the only two Napoleons. I don't know any other Napoleons, so
that's true. There isn't any.
I'm gonna name somebody Napoleon, and he's gonna become famous.
No, don't name him Napoleon. That's a
Napoleon in P. Where you at? That's all my movie news.
That's an interesting little.
It is
little piece of news. I'm excited.
I like Joaquin Phoenix. Though,
I fucking love Joaquin Phoenix.
Has he worked with Ridley Scott before? I don't think so.
He was in Gladiator.
I've never seen Gladiator. Sorry.
This is the point in the show where I'm very disappointed at Devin.
There's always at least one.
I think every episode I'll bring up a movie and you're like, I haven't seen it. And it's like the most iconic thing in the world that everyone's seen.
I've seen 300.
That's not Gladiator, and that's also not a good movie.
It's got a lot of slow-mo in it.
It's not a good movie.
And like zoom-ins, zoom-outs, people kicking stuff. It's good.
There's one kick in the movie.
Nah, he kicks more than one person.
But there's one main kick in the movie.
Oh, yeah, there's one main kick.
The highlight of the movie is that fucking kick. It's a bad movie. I've got some pretty interesting movie news.
All right, give it to me. Lay it on me.
Oscar Isaac and Jakey Gyllenhaal are going to be starring in a movie about the making of The Godfather.
Shit.
Fucking A, man. That sounds awesome.
Are they playing people, or are they just...
They're playing the... I forget the writer's name. I think one of them is playing Francis Ford Coppola, who directed the movie.
Oh, okay.
And I think one of them is playing the writer, like one of the producers or something. I could totally be getting that wrong. But they're playing people who were involved with the movie.
I like that.
That sounds awesome.
That sounds pretty good.
Because I don't know if there's a whole lot of like info about the making of Godfather, but if it's anything like Apocalypse Now, fucking A.
I'm sure something crazy happened during it.
I'm sure just the Marlon Brando stuff alone is worth an entire movie, because Marlon Brando was a fucking asshole who didn't obey the laws.
So are they gonna have the actors?
I don't know.
Have somebody else play the actors?
Might recast the actors, just like, here's so and so playing.
Yeah, or are they not even gonna have them at all? And this is literally just up to like when they start.
It could be. I don't know. There's not a whole lot of info on it other than it's happening.
It's interesting though. I like the pairing. I like the actors.
Fucking Oscar Isaac and Jake Gyllenhaal are fantastic actors.
I'm interested. I think I'd see that.
You got to watch The Godfather.
I would need to watch The Godfather. There's another disappointment.
There's another goddamn. You haven't seen one or two. Two's one of the greatest movies ever made.
Because you keep telling me to watch them, so I don't watch them. Have you seen?
I think everyone's going to tell you to watch them.
Have you seen the trend that you have placed?
But if I didn't tell you to watch them, you still wouldn't have watched them. So
You're right.
It doesn't matter.
But you telling me makes me want to do it less. So
you're missing out on some good fucking movies. You bitch. Speaking of good fucking movies,
you said that really loud. I'm sure somebody from across the hall.
I don't give a damn if our neighbors hear it. All right, you bitch. They don't know. They don't know what the fuck is going on.
No, he's like, is he like slapping somebody?
Speaking of not knowing what the fuck is going on right now, Lion King is getting a sequel.
Yeah, I heard about this. Fucking why?
Directed by Barry Jenkins.
Is it going to be the same sequel as the animated?
I don't know. That's
probably like something new.
Because why do anything new?
But the second one was awful.
Yeah.
So do something new.
Guess what? The remake was also awful, but it made $1 billion fucking.
But this could be different. You could make a remake and then also make it different and make it better, because you know that the second one's poop.
But I think just
make Lion King 1.5.
They're not going to do that. I don't like the way the new Lion King looks. I think the biggest mistake of that movie is trying to make them look realistic and not giving any character any sense of emotion at all. I don't want to sit through an entire movie like that. And if they're going to go the same way with the sequel, I'm not going to watch it just out of that alone, because I think they could have made it
with animated faces type thing.
They could have done exactly what they did but then just give them the animated faces, and it would have at least been like, okay, now there's some emotion.
I'm sure somebody would have been like, that's stupid.
It's animated.
Doesn't look real. Everything else looks real.
They're fucking lions that talk and sing. All right, like, it's not a real movie.
Yeah, that was definitely the biggest
lions in the
issue.
movie aren't real. They're fucking CG.
Well, yeah.
So fuck you. I don't care.
The whole thing is CG.
Yeah. So I don't give a fuck.
I think there was a couple landscape shots that were
I think
that
in,
were
like, the
semi-real.
Yeah, but that doesn't count.
They overlaid it with CG anyway. So
Yeah. I like Barry Jenkins. He's doing the sequel. Barry Jenkins is a fantastic director.
Favreau ain't doing it?
No, Jon Favreau's doing some other shit.
This guy's like, I'm doing the Mandalorian.
He's like, I'm done with this shit. I just hope that Barry Jenkins doesn't become...
What has he made?
He made Moonlight, which is a movie I always talk about because I love Moonlight. He did If Beale Street Could Talk, which is another really good movie. He hasn't done a whole lot. He's only done like 3 or 4 movies. I hope, though, he doesn't get caught up in the corporate machine after this. I hope he doesn't like, oh, let's give him a Marvel movie. Let's give him a Star Wars movie. I don't want that from Barry Jenkins.
If he succeeds at this, he probably will.
I don't want that.
If this makes $1 billion, then yeah.
Don't see this movie because I want Barry Jenkins to make small little movies.
I want him to go back down the list of directors for A-list movies.
Yeah, because Moonlight is one of the best movies in like the last 5-6 years, and it's a small little indie movie about characters. I don't want him to make these big overblown fucking movies. Not every director is good at those. Those movies are hard. And not every director wants to do those or needs to do those, and he's one of those. I don't think he needs.
The biggest questions with this, though, is do people care about the second Lion King enough to want to go see this?
There were a surprisingly a lot of people I've seen online who actually didn't hate the most recent Lion King. They actually was like, it's pretty solid.
Really? But do enough people care to go see it?
Enough people cared about the new one.
That is the original Lion King, though. We're talking about the second one now. Do enough people care about the
sequel? But, I mean, we have to think about Donald Glover's in it.
Are they returning the entire cast?
I assume. Beyonce's going to be in it. Like, a whole movie with Donald Glover to send... People are going to fucking... I know for a fact my brother's going to rush out to see that.
Donald Glover would barely be in it if it's a remake of the second one, because Simba's barely in the second one. It's about Simba's kid.
It'd still be in it. And people will see it. He was barely in the new one.
I mean, he was in it more than he would be in.
Still, he was barely in it, and people rushed out because people love Donald Glover.
The only reason I would want to even remotely want to see this is if it's not an exact remake of the sequel. That
would be the only way I would want to see it, but I don't think they're going to do that.
Because you could learn from your mistakes and why people mostly didn't like that. Apparently, people did like it. I don't know how.
There's always those assholes who are like, "Oh, it's not that bad."
And make a sequel from it. Do something different.
I'd be fine with that. I don't think they're going to do that, though. Because why make something new and original when you already have a movie there that you can let's just redo it?
Because it was bad.
They don't care. They want money.
The difference with the first Lion King is that everyone universally loves
the new one was bad.
It was.
And it made money, and that's why it's getting a sequel. They don't give a fuck if these movies are good.
I think the issue with this is it's still Lion King, but the name recognition of the second one isn't as prevalent as the first one.
True.
People will be like, "There's a sequel," because I don't even think a lot of people know there's a sequel.
Because most of the Disney movies that have sequels.
So I think this could hinder from that, or it could help it. Be like, "Oh, they're making a sequel that didn't actually exist. They're gonna,
It might, and I mean, kids. I'm sure there's a lot of kids growing up on this new Lion King, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, it was great." And they're gonna want to go see the second one a million fucking times.
Yeah, I'm sure. But I don't agree with this. Unless Disney's for somehow making like a live action universe with all these live action movies.
This isn't live action. So.
You know what I mean? Like realistic live action.
Like, what would they do with that? We're going to have an Avengers like in-game moment where like Pocahontas is there and she's like,
Beauty and the Beast.
Princesses assemble. Like, I don't want that. That's dumb.
It's weird. I don't know why that, and like Dumbo.
Because they're out of ideas and they just want to regurgitate all this shit.
I'm sure there's plenty of directors out there with ideas or screenwriters. Just have a sit down.
Those don't sell. People know Beauty and the Beast.
If they're good.
People know Lion King. People know Snow White.
That's when you're at the bottom of the barrel and you're like, I'm struggling as a company.
Nobody knows this no-name fuck who's making this movie that is an original thing.
Don't make stuff like whatever that Time movie was called. I don't remember what that was called. With Oprah Winfrey. Wrinkle in Time.
I mean, don't do that.
Don't do that.
That just looked bad from the trailer.
So do something different that looks good also. Disney. Put some shit out under your Fox stuff.
You think?
Put some more adult stuff out.
We're going to be like, I feel like all the big budget stuff that's going to come out in the next 5-6 years are just going to be Disney, and they're all going to be sequels. And like, we're not going to have. I think Tenet might be like the last big budget like original thing. Because I feel like everything else, like Marvel, we're gonna have Marvel movies for the next 10 years. We're gonna have Disney in their live action bullshit. We're gonna have DC for the next year probably. That's all it's gonna be now. It's just everything but just slightly a little different.
Yeah, but there could be a hit indie movie like a Upgrade type thing.
Upgrade wasn't a big. I'm talking like a big budget. Like everyone goes out and sees this. Nobody fucking saw Upgrade.
Well, who cares? As long as there's good, maybe not big budget, but they're good movies.
No, I agree. As long as there's good, and there's always good movies coming out. But I would love for big budget movies to be great, and they're not.
Why do you care?
Because I want movies to be good, and you can do a lot with a big budget, and you can do things that some indie movies can't. But they're just not doing anything with these big budgets. You have $1 billion. Do something. I think
you need to look at Universal and Sony and Warner Brothers.
Well, Sony's not going to be around very long.
I'm just saying, you need to look at those companies to push Disney to make newer stuff. That's what you need to do. Disney has no real competition when it comes to new movies because nobody else is doing it.
That's true. Where you at, Universal?
Where you at, Warner Brothers? Where you at?
Well, Warner Brothers is trying. They're the little engine that could. They're chugging along. They're like, fuck, we need a hit.
Sony puts out one new idea every 2 years.
Pretty much, yeah. And usually they're not good.
Baby Driver was the exception.
Baby Driver is good, but that's a movie made by a filmmaker. That's not a Sony movie.
Still a Sony movie. Their name's on it. Sure. Anyways.
Next. This is interesting, I guess. There's a movie called Black that is based on a comic book where only black people have powers. And there's a movie coming out about that.
It's a little weird.
That's a thing.
Is that somehow racist? I don't know.
It's not racist because it's about black people.
I guess.
If it was about white people, though, it would be racist.
Why do only black people have superpowers?
Because I don't know.
What's their superpower? Like, are they all random or are they all the same superpower?
I think it's just like random. It's like X-Men, but the only people in the universe that have powers are black.
Strange. I mean, sounds interesting, but it's a little weird.
I don't know. I don't know what the comic is about. I hope that's not.
I've never heard of this.
I hope that's not just like the comic. It's just, hey, they're superpowers, but they're black. Like, I hope there's a little bit more to the comic.
That guy can fly. That guy can't fly.
I hope it's not just like, hey, here's more black superheroes. I hope there's a little bit of depth.
There'd be a lot of them. If every black person is, that's a lot of
Well, I don't think it's like every, but I think the only people who can't have powers.
I thought it was like all of them.
Every single black person.
Like, a black person's born, oh man.
Fucking A. He shoots lasers out of his eyes.
He could be the next, like, villain of this world.
Yeah.
Like,
Darnell's the next Superman.
Darnell. Have better names than Darnell.
His name's Darnell. Why are you laughing at that, you racist?
Bad name.
They fucking I didn't name this fucking kid. His parent, blame his fucking parents.
I can see you if you had a kid, name your kid Darnell.
I would never have kids, and I would never name one Dar fucking Nell.
You adopt a kid, then you name him Darnell.
I'd rename his ass. I'd name him like Squilliam Fancy Son, the third. Squidward. I'd name him Squidward.
And never show him SpongeBob. I'll never know the origin of his name.
No, he shall never know.
People are like, "Hey, that's from SpongeBob." He's like, "What?
What the hell's SpongeBob?
Talking about?
The fuck did you just call me?
My name's Squidward, not SpongeBob."
But that's just a little small thing. I don't know what this is. I don't really care all that much.
Well,
I'm getting sick of fucking.
This is a movie, right?
It's a comic that's being developed into a movie.
Okay, this would be better as a show, I feel like, but that's just personally. That's just me.
Maybe. It's definitely only being made because of the Black Lives Matter stuff. But we're going to ignore that because of...
Probably.
This wouldn't have been made 5 years ago.
Probably. I mean, you're right. You never know. It could have been in the works for a long time, and they're finally greenlit it.
No, they're just... They haven't even cast anybody for it yet. Like, they just were like, hey, there's this thing. Let's make this.
Daniel Kaluuya is going to be in.
Wouldn't surprise me if just every black person in Hollywood now is in this movie. Donald Glover will probably be fucking in it. Idris Elba will probably be in it.
That's how they're going to get butts and seats.
Who's famous in black? Let's put him in. Will Smith.
No. Because if you do that, it's guaranteed to get a bomb. Or not bomb, just be bad.
It's like, nah, fuck Will Smith.
Also, he was already a superhero.
Yeah, but...
Twice.
Once. Deadshot isn't a superhero.
Okay,
he's a guy with guns who shoots things kind of okay. And he's a bad guy, supposedly. From what the movie tells us. That's all the real movie news I have. I have some TV news.
I don't have any TV news, so you can go ahead with that too.
Conan the Barbarian Netflix show in development. You ever seen Conan the Barbarian?
Nope.
Arnold Schwarzenegger movies.
I've seen clips. I haven't
You
seen
son of a
I haven't
bitch.
seen the movie.
Conan the Barbarian's really good.
Is Arnold going to show up in the show? That's all I care about.
Probably.
A little cameo.
No, he's 85,000 years old.
He can cameo, isn't it?
Unless the show is an older Conan, which I'd be fine with. Because I think the second movie ends with...
No, he doesn't have to be Conan. He can just be in it.
But he's Conan.
Like a little
No,
reference.
I mean, like, if the show is a sequel and it's about him. Like,
is it a sequel?
I don't know. It's in development. It's probably going to be a reboot. They remade Conan the Barbarian, like, in 2011 with Jason Momoa, and it sucked. So this will probably suck, too.
Who are you going to cast?
Who's a big guy? The Rock?
Henry Cavill.
He's not Arnold big. You need, like, an Arnold big fuck.
I don't know. Dave Bautista.
Dave Bautista would actually be really good. Because Dave Bautista is a really good actor.
I don't know.
I don't want this, though.
I don't know many Jack people. Why not?
Because I just don't... Like, Conan the Barbarian was a good movie. Conan the Destroyer was shit. They made one good movie. Leave it the fuck alone. We don't need anything else. I don't want this. Make new things, Netflix.
Made The Witcher. It's not new, but...
Witcher's good, though. And speaking of Witcher, that's a perfect segue.
I didn't even do that on purpose.
Witcher Season 2, I guess set photos or promo photos. And Henry Cavill is looking so fucking huge. I'm like, how do you get him in these fucking suits? Because there's the main shot that they showed was him in like this new armor, and he looks like the fucking Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. He's just fucking like gigantic.
You think he came on set one day and like, dude, you need to like calm down.
He came on set and they're just like, what the fuck? We have to re-tailor all this shit now. Like, stop. You're gonna have a heart attack.
They're probably like, dude, can you scratch your back? Like,
Can you like move? Can you function? How are you gonna do fight scenes, Henry? He looks massive.
Good on Henry though.
I guess he's doing whatever the fuck he wants with his Superman money, but
Get on Man of Steel 2.
I'm interested in season 2. So
Get on Man of Steel 2.
that's all TV news.
I didn't watch The Witcher. Another disappointment for you.
I mean, that one makes the most sense for you not to watch.
I didn't play the games either, so
It's not really about the games. It's more about the books.
I've heard that, but I still haven't seen it. Because I also haven't seen Lord of the Rings. So.
Yeah, which is... I'm going to force you to watch Lord of the Rings at some point. Because Lord of the Rings is great.
We hit on the trifecta of disappointment today. Anyways, let's move on. You want to talk about Marvel or DC?
It's up to you. Whatever you...
I have more Marvel news, so I guess we'll
Talk about
talk
Marvel.
about that first.
Talk about La Marvel.
Let's start with the biggest breaking news over the past 2 weeks. Jamie Foxx is going to be in Spider-Man 3.
Oh, shit.
Officially.
Have they confirmed that this is Electro from Amazing Spider-Man 2?
They
Or
have.
is this a new Electro?
Not confirmed specifically, but Jamie Foxx has come out and said, I'm not going to be blue. So that's probably saying that he's going to be a different Electro, I had to guess.
Okay. I mean, that kind of sucks, but Jamie Foxx could make a really awesome, like,
I mean, they could always make it like, oh, it's the same Electro, he just changed colors.
I mean, I guess
like,
they could, but I like blue Electro, alright?
he said he's not going to be blue.
It looks cool.
I think he posted that on his Instagram or something.
Make it CG. Fuck you.
What do you mean make it CG?
Just, like, in post, just turn him blue. He doesn't have to put any makeup on. Just make him blue.
I think he did that in the first one. I don't think he had makeup
he
on.
was in makeup.
Was he?
Yeah. And it looked really good.
Mm.
He was in makeup, and then they kind of like Dr. Manhattan did, where they just kind of like lit him up a little bit.
Dr. Manhattan, he actually had lights on.
Yeah.
He? So it was
They did that a little bit with
Did they?
Electro and Jimmy. He had a really awesome. I wish they sold this. When he's wearing that hoodie, they had like lights in it around the hood, and I'm like, that looks dope as hell.
Seen that.
I would love to have something like that.
But yeah, it's pretty cool news. We're
cool.
rumored to still have Kraven in this movie, so I don't know how that's gonna work.
You can have both.
I guess.
Kraven might be a smaller villain, sort of like how in Amazing Spider-Man 2, it's just like, oh, the Rhino's here, and I gotta fucking kick his ass and lock him in jail.
Because I still think Sony wants to do a Kraven movie, so I feel like they would be like,
Probably.
let's just save him.
I want to see Carl Urban as Kraven.
I saw that on your Snap. I think it was your Snap. I'd be okay with that, actually.
That'd be great, even though I just totally forgot he's already in the MCU.
He is, and he's dead, though. So.
True. But he'd make a fucking awesome Kraven.
Everybody's in the MCU. So.
Everybody.
Another Spider-Man 3.
How do you feel about Jamie Foxx returning?
I'm fine with it. Jamie Foxx is a good actor.
He's a great actor. And I think he'd make an awesome villain.
I thought it was weird at first because I was like, is he playing the same Electro? Because that's kind of weird and confusing.
Well, I mean, if they're doing the multiverse stuff, I guess it makes sense.
I guess, and if he does come back to the same Electro, they're for sure doing a Spider-Verse.
Well, I think this is something that I saw. I don't know if you have this, but supposedly, and I'm not going to say this is official because we don't fucking know because Marvel hasn't come out and said anything, but supposedly from some sources, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire have signed on for Spider-Man 3.
I've seen that.
Is that fake?
It's from a bad source that just puts out random shit.
Well, there we go.
So there have been people that are more reliable saying that it's an idea floating around, but no talks are in development yet.
That makes more sense. And I hope if they do sign on eventually, I hope they keep that a fucking secret.
Yeah, don't release that to the public.
Knowing Sony, they're going to put it in the trailer anyway.
Probably.
So they're going to ruin the whole fucking... Because how amazing would it be
they just showed
to
up.
sit in the theater watching Spider-Man 3. We already know Doctor Strange in it, so that wouldn't really be a surprise. But like... sitting there knowing that like, oh, it's Spider-Man 3, and then all of a sudden fucking Tobey Maguire's fucking ugly ass shows up and Andrew Garfield fucking shows up. That'd be amazing.
Honestly,
it'd be awesome.
I don't want this in Spider-Man 3. Do a Spider-Man 4 or maybe even 5 and do it in that one.
I'd be fine with it.
Because Spider-Man 3, I feel like he needs to like do his own thing without a mentor.
He already did his own thing in Far From Home.
But he still had his mentorship kind of going on.
He didn't have... The whole point of that movie was him trying to find his way without a mentor.
But he was looking up to, Sam Jackson.
He wasn't looking up to Sam Jackson. He was
Jake
telling
Gyllenhaal,
Sam Jackson to go fuck himself half the movie. And Jake Gyllenhaal was the villain.
Dead Tony Stark. So
no, he was on his own the whole movie.
But speaking of other casting for Spider-Man 3, Benedict Cumberbatch is officially in this movie, which I kind of was expecting somebody else from the actual like MCU to be.
Well, I think that's part of the deal.
I didn't know who.
Like,
I thought it was going to be Sam Jackson again, but I guess Benedict Cumberbatch is fine.
They're going to do something else.
Yeah. And
that's fine, I guess. It's a little weird.
If they're doing this as the same Electro from The Amazing Spider-Man, I guess this is how they could do it, multiverse stuff.
Well, I heard from somewhere, and this is just like fan speculation, but I heard on a podcast that like we might have like a multiverse trilogy in a way where it's like WandaVision kind of is the start of it.
Heard of that.
Doctor Strange 2 is like him trying to like fix it and be like, this is fucked up, and then Spider-Man 3 is him like, all right, this is over with, like, stop. Maybe that's what they're doing. I don't know. But I think if they do that, that'd be kind of neat.
He could also have a Ragnarok type role where he shows up like 5 minutes.
He might. He probably will. He'll probably show up and be like, Peter Parker, and then he fucking says some shit.
Which would be fun. They've met before, so... Yeah,
don't they have like an iconic like partnership in the comics? Aren't they like a known duo?
Yeah, they do work together a lot because Spider-Man does like a lot of Madam Web stuff, which is multiverse stuff. So... Yeah. They do know about each other, and they've met in the movies already, so they don't need to establish a relationship or anything. Yeah, because they met in Infinity War.
I think that could be fun. I do think that he doesn't need another mentor.
What would Doctor Strange mentor him for? They're not the same at all.
I'm
a magic wizard, and you're a thing that can climb on walls.
I'm an old man, and I'm gonna teach you the ways of life.
I think if he shows up, Doctor Strange will be like, look, I don't give a shit about what you do.
I don't care about you at all.
This is what's going down. Yeah. So
I need your help in fixing this shit. Yeah. All right. Because I think if you give him another mentor, that kind of defeats his entire arc from the last movie, which was finding his way without a mentor and becoming Spider-Man. And Far From Home was about him becoming his own guy.
I want to know your kind of theory for this. So Kevin Feige has this thing where if he makes it to a third movie in a franchise, he tries to do something different. So in like Iron Man 3, they took away his suit. Avengers 3, the Avengers lost. Thor Ragnarok, they just completely changed Thor completely. And Captain America 3, it was like, all out. Captain America's kind of like a war hero, and not a war hero, but war criminal. Gave up on the government type thing. You have any theories for Spider-Man 3? What
MJ dies.
You think so?
MJ dies.
I don't think that changed. I mean, that'll change Peter Parker.
Or Aunt May dies. Somebody important.
You think
in his life, or Ned, like someone important that we know in these movies is going to die. Probably.
That's your theory for.
I think so. Because you take away his suit, we've already seen what he can do with his little pajama suit.
Yeah.
So he doesn't really need the fucking suit anyway. If they're gonna probably get rid of the whole like, oh, everyone knows I'm Peter Parker, they're probably gonna get rid of that within the first like 5 minutes anyway. So they're not gonna like kill Spider-Man or anything. Like they're not gonna do anything major with that. So I think it'll probably come in some sort of death of somebody, and I think MJ would be the most obvious one just because Gwen Stacy and everything that happened with that. But I could see them doing that.
I don't know, but I do have some news that could maybe go into this theory if it's true. This is a rumor as of right now. I don't think you've heard of this because I think you would have told me. Marvel Studios has rumored to have cast an actor from Miles Morales in the MCU already.
Oh, is it that little brown boy?
They haven't said who it was that was cast, but
okay.
It's rumored that they have either they're in talks to cast somebody or they're already done it. That could be something that they do.
That could be interesting. How old was Peter in the comics when Miles?
In his 20s.
Was he 20?
He was in his 20s. I don't know if he was 20 exactly.
Okay. Because I think he's a little too young now to have another kid Spider-Man running around. I think we need to give it a little bit of time.
I think it wouldn't be he's Spider-Man yet. It would be a kid version of Miles Morales.
Like a baby Miles?
No, like a 10-year-old type thing.
That's how old Miles is in the comics. He's like he's 11.
15.
No, in the comics when he's first introduced, he's like 12.
Yeah, he's super young.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. They're gonna have baby Miles.
Just do like a 8 or 9-year-old or something, and then 5
they'd
years
have
from
to
now.
they'd have to do that. Like they'd have to make him Spider-Man quick because he's gonna be 15 soon. Unless they want to do an older Miles. Which
I was gonna say if Spider-Man's 15 or 16. Currently, the Peter Parker.
I think currently he's 16.
So 4 or 5 years from now, then you age up the kid actor.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think hopefully they do this a couple of years from now. I don't want like a young Miles in Spider-Man 3. I think that's a little too soon.
I could see them throwing him in there.
I don't want
but not as
too like early.
Spider-Man Miles.
Well, he's already in the universe because Homecoming acknowledged him, but I don't like give it like after Spider-Man 3, then you can do it.
They could throw him right now in a different movie also.
They could, yeah. They could. Could they? Because it's technically a Sony.
If Sony, I think Sony and them made a weird deal, honestly, with this new deal. Where
I don't know.
I think Marvel can use characters as they wish. It's just if Sony wants to put their own movies in the MCU, they're kind of like pushing more towards that. Because I think that's why they're letting Venom possibly be pushed more towards it's going to be in the MCU. I don't know. Especially with Morbius having Michael Keaton in that, I think that's really pushing towards like Sony wants their movies in the MCU, and the deal was like, you can have and use these characters, but our movies are canon type thing.
That would make sense. I think I'd be fine with that honestly, if that's the deal they made, because it's like, all right, Sony wants to force their way into the fucking MCU and they want to give a shit characters, like fine, whatever.
Because they see the potential money making from this.
Yeah, definitely. It's not going to make Venom any good.
It's going to be a little weird, though, if their movies are canon. It's like, okay, Spider-Man has a bunch of, like, villain movies that no other character has.
It's a little weird.
In the MCU.
It is a little weird. But also, Spider-Man has the most iconic villains.
Of all the superheroes.
Like, we didn't need, like, a Mandarin movie for Iron Man. Like, no. We don't need that.
I could see us getting a Doctor Doom movie, possibly.
That could be neat.
But of all the villains, I don't see anybody else. If anything, Thanos should have got one, and he kind of did with Infinity War. But it just wasn't called Thanos movie.
Thanos Infinity War.
So, and then my last piece of news, which I told you the other day, but we didn't talk about in the podcast, is it's rumored that Ryan Reynolds is going to sign a record-breaking deal with the MCU, possibly 6 or 7 film.
Which is fine.
Deal.
I hope though that we only get one more Deadpool movie. I don't want 7 Deadpool movies. I hope he makes one more Deadpool movie and then just kind of shows up in other movies randomly. I'd be totally fine with that. I think that's how he should be used in the MCU because I really don't want Disney's little fucking fingers in Deadpool because I think they would probably fuck it up.
You don't think, like I said, they finish the trilogy and then make their own trilogy?
They might do that. I don't want that.
Like they do a movie to bridge him.
I want one more Deadpool movie. And that's it. And then just have him show up like in an Avengers movie or in an after credit scene or make him like the new Stan Lee in a way where he just cameos and he's like, hey guys, this is fucking weird.
Well, I know Ryan Reynolds has a rights thing with Deadpool. So I don't think even if Disney wanted to fuck it up, Ryan Reynolds would even let them type thing. Like, hey, I'm like producing and I own part of this right thing that's going on with this. I want to do this.
But even then, like, do we need 6 Deadpool movies?
No,
That's a lot.
We don't need even one Deadpool movie. I mean, you don't.
No,
need
we
anything.
needed at least one Deadpool movie.
No, you don't need anything.
Well, sure, we don't need movies, but like,
if
I think Deadpool's one of those characters that can really like overstay his welcome if you use too much of him. Deadpool needs to be used sparingly, and I think 3 movies is enough. That's plenty.
I mean, at this point, it's going to be a while before you can get Deadpool 3.
Well, yeah, it's
2018 was Deadpool 2 came out, right?
Yeah.
So
it's going to be a while.
Maximum with 2022.
But I mean, they can also do team up movies because X-Force, I'm sure they're going to do.
I don't see that happening, honestly.
I think with Disney now involved, they'll do that eventually. Once they introduce the X-Men, we'll get an X-Force movie probably.
I don't know.
I could see that.
I don't see it happening anytime soon.
No, it won't be like tomorrow, but it'll be down the line.
The soonest I could see Deadpool 3 happening is 2022. The soonest. I can see maybe even 2023.
Probably.
We ain't getting it next year.
I'd say 2022.
Possibly 2022. But I feel like they already have all that stuff planned out already. Captain Marvel 2.
Well, I mean, stuff gets moved around all the time. They could just
Ant-Man 3.
move something.
They already got that filled out. Thor 4 is coming out that year.
I don't know.
I think. Or is Thor 4 coming out next year? I can't remember.
I think it's 2022.
And then Blade somewhere in there too. So
I don't even think Blade has a release date yet.
It's not. I think it's Phase 5 anyways.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be a while.
But yeah, that's all my Marvel news.
I don't really have any Marvel news.
Well, then we can just move on to DC.
I barely have any DC.
The only DC news I got is Batman got delayed.
That's fucking pretty much. I lied. There's that, which sucks. I hate that.
I was gonna say there's nothing else you want to talk about.
It got delayed a year. That sucks.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man! I want to see this fucking movie. This movie looks really good.
2022. You gotta wait a whole 2 years.
I mean, at least because they're still filming it, so at least, maybe they'll be able to like tighten some shit up and make sure it's like the best fucking thing possible before it comes out. But still, I want to see it. Like now. Put it out now, Matt Reeves.
I've heard I heard that Robert Pattinson got sent home from set the other week for being out of shape. So
yeah, because he's for some reason, I don't know why, but apparently he's just been very just like, I ain't fucking working out for this movie. It is weird. I don't get that. Like, you have all they're paying you to go work out. Like, you might as well work out.
Plus it's a pandemic. You might as well. Like,
yeah, you might as well.
Nothing else
going on.
Nothing else to do.
But apparently he's like, nah, I'm good. I'm just like, okay, whatever.
You're the actor.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I'm a little disappointed because I was really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But it kind of made sense because there was a lot of DC stuff supposedly coming out next year, wasn't there?
I mean, yeah. There's the Suicide Squad. Wonder Woman 2 is coming out next year. The Batman was coming out next year.
Yeah, they were kind of...
Snyder Cut was coming out next year.
Yeah, they were kind of full on their list.
So, I guess that kind of makes sense. Push fucking the Suicide Squad back. Nobody's excited for that.
No, because I want James Gunn to start working on Guardians 3. So.
He can be finished with it, but just release it in 2022. I'm sure he's almost done with it anyway.
He's also making that spinoff thing anyway. So,
no.
Guardians 3 is going to have to wait.
Fucking no.
It's phase 5. It's going to be like 5 years. God. 5 or 6 years between Guardians 2 and
fucking
3.
God, Jesus Christ. That's insane. I mean, that happens. That's not completely unheard of. But I just want a Guardians 3 now. Because I like the first 2, alright, James Gunn?
I mean, the script's been done for a long time.
You fucking cocksucker.
You just gotta go film it.
Why'd you have to tweet out all those fucking things?
What things?
The things that got him fired from Marvel.
Why'd you have to tweet that out 10 years ago?
Like
he knew that like he would have a repercussions of today.
Yeah.
Like he knew that would happen.
But there is some news. It's again, it's a rumor. I don't think it's official. But apparently WB still is sort of poking around with the idea of doing a Jared Leto Joker Harley Quinn movie. That's still kind of like up in the ether.
I don't
of
want that.
Movies they want.
Don't do that, please.
You wouldn't want to see that?
No, I've seen too much of Harley Quinn. I'm done with her.
I'm done with Harley Quinn, and I'm done with the Joker. To be honest,
I don't want it.
I think there's too much Joker, and I think they're going to, within the next couple years, they're going to ram the Joker down everyone's throat because some other news that I have that's also a rumor might happen. But I'd like to see Jared Leto get one more shot at being the Joker, because I think he got done dirty in Suicide Squad.
I don't care. I honestly
I
don't
think
care.
his Joker was interesting, and I want to see him show up again at least once. Ben Affleck's getting a fucking comeback for one movie. Like, bring back Jared Leto's Joker just for like one more thing.
The difference between Ben Affleck and Jared Leto, though, is people universally liked Ben Affleck's Batman.
That's not true at all.
Yeah, it is.
There are so many people who fucking hate his Batman.
I said universally. I didn't say everyone.
Universally means everyone likes his Batman.
It means most. Most people.
Most people fucking hate
liked his Batman. Whereas Jared Leto's Joker, most people hated Jared Leto's Joker.
I mean, that's true, but I don't. But I think if you gave him a solid like, here's the Joker in full force. He's not just kind of like here and there and just being like, I'm the Joker. Like, make a movie about him doing Joker things. I think he could turn people around and be like, he's not that bad.
I don't care.
Because I don't think he was a bad Joker. I just think he had a shit script to work with.
I don't care. I don't want it.
But I don't want Harley Quinn.
He had his chance
anymore, because he didn't have a chance.
He had his chance.
He didn't. No, he got fucked. Speaking of bad, it was. He also wasn't in that.
No, I was talking about Harley Quinn.
It was really bad. Harley Quinn. I don't like this Harley Quinn. I don't like Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn. She's fucking annoying.
I'm okay with Margot Robbie. I think the character.
I think you could get a better actor to be Harley Quinn. To be honest, Margot Robbie.
She's a good actress.
She's fine. The only reason she got the job was because she's hot.
I think that this version of Harley Quinn is bad, though.
She's fucking annoying, and I hate her. Speaking of fucking annoying, apparently, and this is rumored, I don't think we've talked about this before. We might have. But apparently WB is eyeing Jim Carrey to be Joker in this Matt Reeves Batman trilogy.
No, yeah, I think we did talk about
Did we talk about this?
And we talked about how we didn't want it.
I don't want that.
Because it's too on the nose.
It's too on the nose, and it's also like, do you want Ace Ventura? Because that's what you're gonna get. You're not gonna get, like, I hate to tell everyone, but like, we're gonna get Ace Ventura. We're gonna get The Mask. We're gonna get, that's the Jim Carrey.
Why do we need the Joker in the Batman?
Because that's the only person anybody knows. Because Joker made $1 billion, so now they just want to fucking shove Joker down everyone's throat.
Why does he need to be in this Batman though? Put him in maybe the second or third one. I don't even know.
No, he's not gonna be, not this one. They want him in the trilogy.
Oh,
and like down the line, they want him somewhere.
I still don't think you need him.
We don't. I don't want him. I don't think
Batman
he needs to.
Has the most iconic villains of everybody in DC. So.
Yeah. But
do
Joker,
somebody else.
People know the Joker, and people will
do Mr. Freeze. Make other villains more popular, and then you can have a bunch of different.
But that's hard to do, though. Do it. Joker already has a history, and people like it.
You know what? If you put time and effort into something, usually you get good things out of it.
Usually, yeah. So, but that's hard.
That's life.
That's hard, Devin. We don't want to work hard. We just want to make money.
That's life. Deal with it.
That's all the DC
work
news
hard.
I have.
That's all the news I have.
All the fucking news. What's your fun fact of the week?
I don't have one. I mean, I'm sure I did.
This is becoming a trend.
I've delivered the past couple weeks.
The last week you had one, but then the week before that you're like, I don't know.
I'm sure I could think of one.
Think of one on the spot right now. Go. You have 10 seconds.
Space is big.
That's not a fun fact.
I know.
Everyone knows that.
I only know space facts. That's all I know.
What's a space fact?
Here's one. I learned, this is new information. This came out a couple weeks ago. We learned that the atmosphere extends past the moon.
Holy shit.
The Earth's atmosphere. So there you go. It's
That's
very, very, very thin out there. Like every 10,000 feet you'll find a nitrogen atom or something like that. It's very thin, but it does extend.
That's cool.
Out to there. And it helps the flat Earth theory, apparently. I don't know.
It helps with it?
Yeah. Look, the atmosphere, it's floating away. It's not attached to the Earth. It's like, no, it's still in the gravitational field of...
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah. I learned about this other theory that gravity is an illusion. That is a flat Earth theory, but there's also a scientific theory that...
I've heard that from flat earthers. Oh, gravity isn't real. It's an illusion.
That's a stupid theory. There's a real scientific theory that our knowledge of gravity isn't right, per se. Like,
I could see that.
Like we right now we think stuff that has mass just has gravity, but there's kind of a theory that gravity doesn't really pull things and anything like that. And I couldn't get into it right now. It would take me 30 minutes to explain why.
We got time.
Well, okay. It's become a really long fun fact.
It has. I'm probably going to cut most of this out.
Good.
It's the end of the podcast.
3 hours later.
Has it been 3 hours?
2:44.
Jesus. I'm cutting most of the shit out.
Now you can just cut it and make a whole separate video. Just here's some random shit.
Science talk with Devin.